In this segment of our show, Ryan Yellowlees will be telling us a little bit about his thoughts on MAID. So he wanted to share some insights in regard to medical assistance in dying, the MAID protocol. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think the way the current government is doing it, I think is unacceptable because there's just a lack of safeguards. There's like anybody with a serious disability health condition can get it done as 18 regardless of their Canadian citizen, and I just think it's just so easy to give, and doctors don't need to offer any other treatments. I just think it should be the hospital, and they need to exhaust all other reasonable medical treatments before they can just give medical assistance in dying. And also, I'm really advocating against the expansion of MAID to people with solely have mental health conditions, because often those are very treatable in society. We try to prevent suicide, not encourage people that have depression or suicidality to kind of act on those impulses to do with it. I just think and there's been talks with government politicians that expanding MAID to all disabilities, hearing impaired, visually impaired, and other physical disabilities. So I just feel like it's kind of turned to voluntary, like, eugenics type of thing again.
So, I'm curious, do you think, in terms of those who opt for MAID, do you think there's ever pressure from the family to ease their own burdens?
Yeah, there's this real, like, message in society that people would rather be dead than disabled, and that we view that as ending their suffering is a good thing, which I think is a little bit messed up a little bit, because I think we should be focusing on dignity in people living with disabilities and supporting them instead of just one to prematurely end it. And then also, I felt like most people get MAID done. Majority get it done because of social and economic factors, like they don't have enough money to eat. So a lot of people upset. Well, some people get MAID. I've said on the news that they'd rather die than starve or not have money for food, or they're just not receiving proper medical care. And I just think if you have to get it done because of those two circumstances, I think that's not acceptable. The government should provide more like income assistance, and they shouldn't have to be poor or get MAID because they're poor. They can't get proper health care that they should get.
So, that being said, circumstances can change. If a person's in financial straits, there are options like government relief, as you mentioned. So, do you have any advice as to how people can get better informed and sort of veer away from the myths and the stereotypes that having a disability is somehow an end to a productive, meaningful life?
So you're asking like kind of alternatives to that, or... I was just wondering if you could reframe that question or ask it again.
So, if circumstances can be changed, such as debt relief and the possibility of greater income, how can people get best informed as to what's out there and veer away from just jumping the gun and opting for MAID?
I guess you have to contact the local disability resource center, or if they have a health unit, you could ask their caseworker for a occupational therapist or a social worker. I just think going to disability resource center, that would be a great way, but there isn't really much the government can give you. Like, if it's not enough for your medical care that's not covered by the government, and you don't have enough money to eat, there's not really much more you can get besides the maximum amount. So I don't really know what people can do if they can't get the resources they need. They can try their resource centers and stuff, but I don't know how they can get more money for their disability income assistance.
That's the thing. Opting for MAID would be sort of an end to even the possibility of any sort of relief. So, why have you taken such an interest in this matter, why would you want to put an end to the expansion of it being including those who have mental health conditions?
Well, me being a disability activist and living with disability and also being a clinical counselor, a lot of the time mental illnesses are not, they're not a permanent thing. Like, they can come and go. Like, it was desire to pursue suicide can be symptoms of depression, but if you, and often mental illnesses are very treatable. Like medications, counseling. Like, I just don't like the idea the government's not giving those services for free before they're allowed to get paid. The current way it's going, you would just need a mental health condition and be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and be 18 to get it done, which there needs to be way more safeguards. Like, they need to exhaust all other reasonable treatments with mental illnesses. It's not an intractable thing, it's permanent. Most of the time it's very treatable, like depression. It's extremely treatable, and in my practice, I practice to prevent suicide, like suicide risk assessment. And, like, the job as a mental health worker is to not, like, help our clients to commit suicide for mental health issues, to kind of prevent them from doing it and helping them improve. And then also it's kind of like a slippery slope that once we give it to people with the mental illnesses without many safeguards, and it could just get to people with visually impaired, hearing impaired, autistic people, then eventually it could even get to a place that they're even discussing about allowing parents to eventually have the decision to kill their child with medical assistance and dying. I think it's kind of sick and twisted that Canada, they're saying now, is one of the easiest countries to get medical assistance and dying in the world.
So, what are the next steps in your speaking out against this?
For now, I was going to start a campaign, like, work with other people, maybe, so I was going to start a campaign to prevent expansion of MAID and advocate for way more safeguards. Kind of like advocate for an Australia system, that there's a lot of safeguards, that they need to try all other treatments that are reasonable, even experimental ones, before they can get it done. In Australia, you have to get counseling for free before you're allowed to get it done. Like, I think we should follow that model instead of, like, so we can preserve the dignity of people with disabilities and help them live a better life instead of just helping them end it prematurely. Because we could just do so much more, give them more financial assistance to people with disabilities, become assistants, we can provide free counseling, give them other treatments besides just, currently right now you don't even get to try any other treatment. You just go to a medical assistant and right away if you want to.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to do this, but if you can stay on the line for a sec, that'd be great.